What's good, YouTube? I'm going live. I'm live and I'm going to share the link, so bear with me. Three people in here and then I'll start the stream. Good morning, class. How are you all this evening? The main man is here. Nath, mate, good to see ya. West Spell just joined. Oh, that was you, brother. Mahalo, which is thank you in Hawaiian. So I'm just trying to get the energy level lifted inside my body really quickly because I've been very busy this week working on lawnmowers. Hit the Rogan, don't worry, it doesn't hit back. Yeah, it doesn't, bro. It's a thumb, it looks like a thumb. If Joe Rogan was not on steroids, he'd look like Rosie O'Donnell in about a week. If you don't know who Rosie O'Donnell is, you're probably doing the right thing. And I'm sure all of you guys know who Joe Rogan is. 4 people in here, hit the Rogans if you're in here. Drop a comment, say hello. I'm just trying to up my frequency right now with techno music. I've been watching your videos for years with my friend Tyler. We love you so much, man. Keep it up. Thanks, bro. I love you too. Well, I don't know ya, but it sounds good to say I love you. Hi, bro. West Spells. Good to see you, man. You think about it, right? I love you, 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 I love you. You see that? It feels really fucking good. Love is a more powerful force than hatred, because hatred will break somebody and they'll get hunchback and their penis will actually shrivel in size. Hello, Rogan Up. Thank you, brother man. I love everybody. Do ya? Do you love Adolf Hitler? Sig Heil! I just yelled that loud enough so that my neighbours would hear it. They're going to call the ADL on me, the Anti-Defamation League, brought to you by yours truly, the Zionist Bolshevik Illuminati Jews. But yeah, it's important to love everyone. You know, everyone's not born as a sinner. As the Catholics say, the semen is the sperm. The jizz is the sperm. So they don't go to Disneyland, they go to bloody Disneyland and they try to fap out all their sperm. Bless you too, West Spells. I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, but love is a much powerful force than hatred, because hatred will break a nigger. Hatred will break a fucking nigger. Like, you will be hunched over, your cock will shrivel up. Alright, there's 6 people in here. Please hit the Rogans if you're in here. That's the thumb if you didn't know. Joe Rogan looks like a sodomite thumb on steroids. If he wasn't on steroids, he'd look like Rosie O'Donnell in about a week. So I'd appreciate the thumbs up if you can. Otherwise, just watch without pressing a thumb up. That means, you know, you're like one of those people on the streets that watches the busker perform and doesn't throw any fucking nickels or quarters in. Piece of shit, in other words. But love is a very, very powerful force. Love elevates. Love will make you feel more confident. And hatred, on the other hand, when we're acting in envy and spite, it breaks the backs of the peasants. They don't feel confident, they don't feel comfortable, and usually they become envious and self-sabotaging. Hate can, in fact, open up the third eye through trauma-based mind control, which is a very powerful thing. But there's got to be a right level of hate. What's up, everybody? The Click Experience. I love you, Breath Man. I love you too, Naya. Love you too. Love will prevail. Spread the world your message, and hearts, hearts, hearts. Breath is the top G. I'm not a top G, bro. You know why they call it a top G, right? That's like a homosexual reference. Like, you're a top or a bottom. He's the top G. Top B, man. I don't want to be top anything, because I don't want to be, have any sexual innuendos referenced to me, giving me a descriptive term. So I don't have much to talk about this evening, guys. I just wanted to say I love you all. I've got a few things to talk about, actually. I want to talk about society and the fall of Babylon. We've got 7 people in here and only 4 Rogans up, so there's 3 of you that don't want to show your love with a Rogan. It's not that hard to press a bloody Rogan. Thank you. 5 Rogans. There we go. Feel the love in here. I love you, I love you, I love you. Yeah, Babylon is burning to the ground, guys. I don't know if you've looked outside the window lately and seen the transsexual demons coming to a city near you, or perhaps the inevitable collapse of fiat currency. But it's coming down, man. There's a lot of medical coincidental deaths out there lately. If you were on my Telegram, I did a whole stream about how I had self-reflection of my own behavior. If you're not in my Telegram, I suggest you go and join it. It's YouTube Unfriendly, t.me/YouTube Unfriendly. And that's on Telegram. It's brought to you by the Russians. They're a really good platform. You should get it. Because as we see Babylon begin to fall apart, we're going to see more and more like laws pertaining to speech and like information and censorship. And it won't be brought to you by yours truly, the Universal Government of America. It'll be brought to you through something called corporate arbitration. And that's basically when a corporation, we got 6 likes and 6 people, and that's love stream 666. The synchronicities are abundant. Yeah, it won't be coming to you from a corporate government. It won't be coming to you from the constitutional democracy, as they like to call it, even though we know it's a republic. What it'll be coming to you through is something called corporate arbitration. And a corporate arbitration is basically when a corporation, and if you don't know Latin, a corporation is the corpus oration, the voice of the dead, for those of you that don't know Latin, the voice of the dead, and that's why they're zombie corporations. And their sole motivation isn't actually profit. It's more than that, and I'll get to that in this stream. But there is something coming to a city near you or a country near you called corporate arbitrations, and that is when a corporation, the voice of the dead, gets to dictate the laws. We already saw it with the COVID-19, where we had the emergency powers executed, and there was corporations that would say to you, you're not allowed to work here unless you've had a medical experiment, and you're not allowed to come in unless you wear a mask. Even though the Constitution or the laws of the land don't allow that because of this corporate arbitration, which the peasants will beg for, by the way, means that now they get to position themselves above the Constitution. And if you think about this Nuremberg 2.0 that everyone's begging for, and they will beg for it more if there's more coincidental deaths, people dropping dead, through a mere medical coincidence, right? Causation doesn't equal causation. Is that what they say? The people are going to be really mad, and they're going to beg for justice. And who's going to give it to them? It's going to be the corporation, the voice of the dead, because it will not be a government body elected by we the people. It'll be something outside of that New World Order, if you will. And it's not just a conspiracy, it's already happening, but it's going to be like full tilt in the next year, and I don't know how long it's going to take. My prediction is probably this year, and if you think it's getting more mellow after the whole COVID thing, think about how the python kills you. When a snake wraps around your body, right? I know snakes, man. I used to fucking breed snakes. They wrap around your body. The killer pythons and the anacondas, they don't have venom, but they wrap around your body and they squeeze you really fucking hard. And then just before you're about to die, they let off. They release their grip just a little bit. So you're like, oh, I'm going to wiggle free. Fuck yeah, this is going to be great. And then just when you think you're free, the reason they're loosening their grip is so that they can grab you even harder. And then they fucking kill you through strangulation. And we're under the authority of the snake right now. It's the snake system. And the snake is letting off its grip just a little bit before it fucking clamps down again. So it's important that you're ready and you know the signs, and you can see Babylon falling before it falls. The Tower of Babylon is a great metaphor. Because the Tower of Babylon was built on lies, yes? Each brick, say if the bottom brick is a lie, the brick on top of that is also a lie, but all lies can't contradict themselves, so the amount of energy that goes into the bottom brick, it's only one lie. The second brick is 2 lies. Shalom aloha, brother man, good to see you. Right, Nervous Norvis, I love that name, man, I fucking get you. You're getting it, dude. Everyone's getting it. That's why Babylon's about to fall apart, because everyone's seeing through it. Like the magician who pulls the rabbit out of the hat. I love you too, brother. I love you, I love you, I love you. When the magician pulls the rabbit out of the hat, everyone goes, oh my God, the dude's a fucking magician. And then later you come to find out that there's a secret compartment inside the hat. And now when you see the trick the second time, you're like, that's fucking lame, right? You retracted your message. What kind of... Don't retract any messages, brother. I'm not here to hate speech or take speech or regulate any speech. But what I'm trying to say is once you see through the illusion, it no longer fools you. And our system, Babylon, which is Judeo-Christian, which is a Zionist empire, or we'll call it the American empire so we don't trigger any algorithms. But the American empire is based on lies, right? Just like the Tower of Babel was. A good friend of mine said to me, You just ruined the rabbit trick for me. I'm sorry, man. I'm about to ruin a whole lot of tricks. Your whole fucking social paradigm inside your brain's about to be ruined. If you want to stay, hang out, hit the Rogan up for support, I'd appreciate it. Join my Telegram, join my Patreon, all the above. All the links are in my videos. So, the Tower of Babel is built on a brick of fucking lies. Each brick requires twice as much energy as the brick underneath it. What do I mean by that? Well, if you've ever told an extravagant lie, each fucking time you progress forward with that lie, you need to make sure that your backstory matches up, because as soon as you get caught out in your lies, the whole fucking thing falls apart. Our whole empire is based on lies, whether it be the moon landing, nuclear bombs, the shape of the earth. I know I'm triggering people and algorithms, but hear me out. Let me finish before you jump into the comments. Everything you think you know is a fucking lie. Why? Because that's how the Tower of Babylon is used and how it controls you. You have a brick, the very bottom. Aloha, brother man. Azo 123321. That's a great name, man. It sounds like Elon Musk's child. Who the fuck names their kids that shit anyway, right? So you have a brick on the bottom. It's lie number one. The lie that goes on top of that also has to make sure that lie number one is remembered and respected, because otherwise the detective can come along with their magnifying glass and they can say, hey, your stories don't match up, bro. Everything's gonna fall apart. Now we put fucking lie number 3 on, number 4, number 5, number 6, until we have the giant fucking Tower of Babel. Yeah, the Tower of Babylon. And now you're stacking bricks fucking 5,000 feet high. You're almost at the firmament. And the amount of energy that is required just to put one fucking brick is catastrophic. You got to come up with so much wizardry and so much fucking bullshit to keep that tower alive. Until it falls. The Tower of Babylon always falls. The snake always eats itself. You ever seen that symbol of the snake eating itself? Well, look at modern medicine, guys. It's a fucking staff with a snake wrapped around it, because they have to tell you these things in plain sight. Even though we are operating under the empire of lies, the truth is also in plain sight because of karmic retribution and revelation of method. They have to tell you these things. They can't just like completely bullshit out your ass. But you, the consensual believer, is agreeing to contract through your own stupidity. But I kind of want to break it down today and maybe make some predictions for the future. Not prophecy. I'm not a prophet. I get things wrong. My prediction for the fucking 2022 last year was that Russia was going to launch a huge offensive on Europe, which they didn't, but I still foresee that coming. You know, whether it be nuclear bombs don't exist, by the way, but they do have big fucking bombs that can fuck shit up. So, like I said, I don't have too much to talk about tonight, or today, wherever you are in the world. But I do want to talk a little bit about the Zionist American Empire. Let's just call it the American Empire so we don't trigger any algorithms, shall we? The Judeo-Christian Empire that is controlling the world through what? Fiat currency and a strong military, and how it's all coming down, how the Tower of Babel is falling. And what you can expect when the Tower of Babylon falls. You're not going to expect Mad Max, where like that you walk into a grocery store and shalom, aloha, mahalo, tepuchi, indigo, manhala. How much of your channel is trolling versus something else? Use your power of discernment, brother. Anyway, what we're doing here is we're talking about Babylon coming to the ground. Why? Because I don't really have much else to talk about, and I like to talk about what's current and in to date of the collective psyche mind, and we all feel it subconsciously. That's why our anxiety levels are going through the roof. Not mine, but you know, when we look at the clinical depression and the statistics, and people losing their fucking marbles all around the world, that's not a natural phenomena. You know, humankind is to be kind and to be chill in a natural state, but we're not, because we're living in the empire of lies and it's coming down. And what you can expect is a few things, but what I want to talk about first of all is the structure of society, and we can go all the way back to ancient Egypt, because not much has really changed. Maybe the technology and those type of things. And if you think about technology progressing, if you think about a lawnmower, for example, not much has really changed in terms of hard mechanical goods. Like your refrigerator today isn't that much different to your refrigerator 60 fucking years ago, yet these technocrats are telling you that technology is on an exponential curve upwards, and like we have way more technology. But the technology that's on the exponential increase is the technology that's used for mind control, like your cell phone and your computer. Everything's getting the internet, yeah? They call it the Internet of Things. Everyone's going to be plugged into the internet. Wow, how amazing. But the hardcore mechanical things like cars and refrigerators and lawnmowers, they haven't really changed so much. So the exponential curve is only in one area, which is mind control technology, your cell phone. Brought to you by yours truly, yes? I'm going off topic a little bit. Hit the Rogans if you're in here. 17 people, 12 thumbs up. I like it. What's up? So just hit the Rogans, man. I love you, I love you, I love you. The Rogan is the thumb, if you didn't fucking know already, and it helps me out, and it shows that you're not just here as a parasite. Thank you, 13 Rogans. Look at that. It was Friday the 13th yesterday. This is Love Stream 666, the number of the beast. So what we're going to do now is we're going to break down the natural formation of human society, and I'm not talking about the social sexual hierarchy. I'm just talking about, thank you very much, Rogan. There is a technology 1,000 years ahead of time to mainstream understanding that is controlled by select demographics. Please elaborate, man. Are you talking about the Tartarian infrastructure all around the world? Elaborate on that comment, because I'm all about ancient technologies. I'm trying to build a free energy device, and I won't say anything more. But what I will say is, when you go back to ancient Egypt, and this is like common knowledge, but I got to tell you guys this so I can prime it in your mind, so that when I flip it around and invert it like a sorcerer, you'll be able to understand what I'm talking about, and I won't sound like a pig dick rambles. So, the pyramidal structure of society. Is pyramidal a real word? I don't know, but the way we structure society into a hierarchy is usually through a pyramid, right? And if we go all the way back to ancient Egypt, they actually tell you how it was done. On the bottom of the pyramid, we have the slaves and we have the farmers. Above them, we have the artisans or the skilled trades. Above them, you have the merchant class, buying and selling, the Jews. Above them, and I love the Jews, so no stress, we don't need to trigger any algorithms. I really love them. They're chutzpah, they're great culture. Above the merchant class is what you call the intellectuals or the scribes or the media. Happy 6, how are you, man? Big love. Law of thermodynamics bypass. What? The law of thermodynamics actually proves the existence of God, if you didn't know. All matter cannot be created or destroyed. Then how the fuck did matter get here if it can't be created? What does it matter, bro? Anyway, you have this fucking pyramid, and we have the intellectuals above the merchants, and then above the intellectuals, it's intellectuals and the scribes, or that would be the media in today's world, right? And then above those fuckers, in their days, you had the military, the warrior class. We don't really have a warrior class. We have a mercenary class, because most people are joining the military because of greedy reasons. They want money and healthcare and all that bullshit. They're not actually like, I'm gonna die for my country. But then they get fucked up. Don't let your circles get squared. Okay, I won't. Thanks for the advice, Ben Martin. Life-changing, dude. And then what happens after the... I'm a pro troll. Thanks, man. Build a bridge and get underneath it. And then above the fucking warrior class, we have the pharaohs. I'm also an Aussie. Shay Monroe, good to hear. Where are you from? In the beautiful country of Australia. Sorry to hear about what happened with your governmental indoctrination camps over there. I'm in Hawaii. This is the Aloha State, the Rainbow State. Navigating around censorship isn't trolling, my bro. Why are you so angry, bro? Calm down, mate. I'm not angry, dude, I promise. I'm not fucking angry at all! This is just my resting fucking psycho face, okay? And I have to use a lot of energy to go from my resting psycho face, which is naturally like this. Like, this is my natural face, guys. This is my natural fucking face. And I'm not angry, okay? That's just my genetics. And you can't get mad at me for my genetics. And I'm using a lot of brain power just to keep my face not resting psycho face, because it gets me locked up in the loony bin. So I really, really got to keep a fucking low-key mental capacity for that. So anyway, 20 people in here, 16 Rogans. If you enjoy the stream, press the thumb up. Joe Rogan looks like a thumb. You ever notice that? He does fucking martial arts and takes boner pills so we can wrestle and fucking rub his little boner against his men. He loves that shit. So anyway, above the, we're talking about the pyramid of society. On the very bottom, let's have a recap, class. We have the farmers and the slaves. And the slaves actually lived quite good lives back then. Remember, Moses was a slave boy, so never underestimate the slaves or the farmers. Above them, we have the skilled artisans, or in our common language, we would call them the tradesmen and that type of thing. And then above them, we would have the merchant class, the Jews, quote unquote, the ones that buy and sell things. And then above them, we have the intellectuals, or the academics, if you will. And it's academics slash the scribes. The scribes are basically just the media. They would go around, they'd write everything down, your journalists and that type of thing. And then above them, who is it? The warrior class, the warlords, the mercenaries. Today we don't have a warrior class, we have a mercenary class. It's called the US Industrial Military Complex. Think of graduates. You graduate high school when they teach you to think inside the box and give you a square cap. Yeah. And then above them, you have the pharaoh at the fucking tip. And not much has really changed, because that's the natural way society works, okay? No matter what you do, even with the exponential increase in technology, you may be able to take the farmers and the peasants and replace them with robots, but let's fucking be real, guys. The robots aren't really that good. You know, yeah, AI is good and all that shit. Should we tie the lower classes to the land they work? Witches have a pointed cap like a sharp phallus. Yeah, it's all fallacy worship, dude, because it is a patriarchy. That's why it's like a massive cock. And I know a lot of the patriots get angry when you say the patriarchy is real. It's not the inverted toxic feminism view of the patriarchy. It's literally how physical reality manifests. Like if you take a fucking mushroom and a cactus, there's a spirit in nature that manifests into reality, right? Right? And the spirit, when it's feminine, will manifest into curvaceous, plump, round things, whereas the masculine spirit will fucking manifest into an outward appearance. It looks like a cock. That's why like a positive and a negative charge is an opposite direction. A feminine or a negative charge is going inwards and a male charge is going outwards. And all physical reality has both of these. And it depends which one's dominant in terms of how things are expressed. And our reality is expressed as masculinity. I mean, we send giant dick rocket ships into space. No, I don't believe in magnets, dude. Magnets is a conspiracy theory. And we have giant skyscrapers that look like cocks, and every capital city you'll have one of those giant phallus things. It's all cock worship. It's a giant cock worshipping cult. But when we look at the society, I don't want to get too off topic with cock worship, but it's true, dude. You might think it's funny, but think of our pinnacle of technology, right? A rocket ship. It's a giant fucking cock, dude. Think about the pinnacle of our architecture. Giant skyscrapers that look like cocks. I mean, this is the human psyche manifesting technology, and our human psyche is male dominated right now. It's a patriarchy, but it's not like how the feminists say it, like, oh my god, the male patriarchy is suppressing me, because that's actually victim consciousness, and victim consciousness is not true. They'll end up just killing themselves. If you have victim consciousness, you'll die an early death. It's a true fact. Ask the feminists, bro. You think they're happy, 60 years old, vibrating themselves to death? No, they're not happy. They're miserable old cunts because they're identifying as victims. But I'm going off topic. I want to talk to you about this pyramid. Now that you have the pyramid inside of your fucking mind and you understand how society is, would there be any benefit to vagina rockets? Well, it's called the UFO, right? It's not going to be a fucking vagina rocket, dude. If you think about how feminine expresses itself, that's the magic mushroom. It looks like a boob. That's why females are curvaceous and males are rigid, right? So a female, if we had a matriarchal consciousness, if our hive mind was matriarchal, then we would be manifesting feminine energy, which would be like a UFO. Or look at the old buildings, dude. Go back to ancient India. Look at the Taj Mahal. They're not giant dick skyscrapers. They are, wouldn't that be going inward like a microscope? Yes and no. But if you think about the fucking Taj Mahal, the tops of them are rounded. They look like giant bosoms, right? It's feminine. The infinite and the finite. You gotta be more clear, man. I don't understand your fucking wizardry, Twiznip. What a name. I like that, by the way. Twiznip. Let me twist your nipples, brother. A circle, exactly. And then the cross is the cube folded in on itself. You ever guys know that? You know how all the Muslims, the Muslims, the Islamic faith, they go to Mecca, which is a giant cube. And I love my Muslim brothers, okay? Inshallah to all of you. But they go to a giant cube in the ground, right? They worship the cube, Mecca. When they lay down and they pray, they have to face Mecca. They know where it is at all times. If you take a cube, right? And you open it up in its two-dimensional shape. Do you know what it is? It's called a net. Whenever you have a three-dimensional shape and you open it up, that's called a net. And then you can fold it back in on itself and make the three-dimensional shape. Do you know what the cube is when you open it up, guys? It's a fucking cross, like the cube in Fortnite. Yeah, and when you open up a cube, and if you don't believe me, just go look up 3D cube net, Google Images. When you open up a 3D cube, it makes a cross, which is the other Abrahamic faith symbol. So you know what I'm saying? It all ties in. Anyway, back to this social pyramid of people. Thank you, guys. 18 Rogans. If you didn't know that the cube and the cross were the same thing, Mecca and the cross of Christ are the same thing. One's three-dimensional, one's two-dimensional. Hit the Rogans up, because you just learned something new. And that's why you come to class today, isn't it, children? To learn something new. Dennis Featherman, hello. So anyway, we've got this ranking of society with the pharaoh at the top and the peasants at the bottom. What we have in the United States, or the American Empire, what we have, thanks Joshua Deacon, I appreciate that, man, is we have the inverted pyramid, okay? And the only way we can have an inverted pyramid is through fiat currency. And I probably need to explain to you why fiat currency exists. A lot of people understand the idea behind fiat currency. That's your money that you're using. It can be printed out of thin air. They used to make it so that they would need 10% of deposits, and then they could print 10 times what they had in their reserves. So an example, if I was the central bank, the one that made the money, it's not created by a mint anymore, we're not on the gold standard, it's made by the central bank. And a lot of people understand this now. This is like common knowledge, but I'm going to take it a step further and explain to you how this all works. But if you're a complete newbie and you've never even heard of a fiat currency, I'll break it down for you as best as I can. You have a central bank who is the authority of the printing of the money. Usually it's run by little dudes who wear small little hats, not to trigger any algorithms, but I think you can read between the lines. They have pubic hair and a little clipped dick, just to give you some more information. They're really awesome. I love these guys. They're super, super awesome. Anyway, the Federal Reserve Bank is not federal. It is not governed by the government. Don't say the word, bro. Don't say the J word. You're triggering algorithms. I don't like that. Anyway, the fucking Central Reserve Bank is amazing, okay? They can literally create wealth out of nothing. And how they do it is they, ions of Z, I like it. And remember, an ion is a positively charged particle, yeah? It all links in, bruh. I'm fucking seeing patterns and shit. Anyway, the Central Federal Reserve Bank can print money at will. They used to have 10% in their reserves. So if they had $100, they could create $1,000. And then they would give that to the government to do projects and shit. Build roads, build airports, create psychological operations like the moon landing on the peasants. And the government would then have to pay that money back with interest, of course. But let me ask you a question. How can you pay something back if you cannot create money? The Federal Reserve Bank creates money out of thin air. They're the only authority that can create money. Unless someone, of course, comes up with counterfeit money, but if they get arrested, they go to jail and they get probably slit on their throat. Most people can't counterfeit. Watermark and all that shit. But anyway, if I'm a Federal Reserve Bank and I can create, I'm the only authority that can create money, so I create $1,000 out of thin air and I loan it to you and I say, now you owe me $1,000 plus interest, so you owe me $1,100, you can never pay me back because there's only $1,000 in existence, okay? It's a great scam. These guys are super genius. And if you're inside the Empire of America, you're benefiting off this scam. So don't even complain about it. I love it, you know, thank fucking God for the central bank, right? But this is why it's all going to fucking fall apart. And I'm really long-winded explanation, but I hope you bear with me and we can tie it all in and learn something new and give ourselves a pat on the back. So you used to have 10% of reserves. So if you had $100, you could make 1,000. Now there's no such thing as that. It's infinite. You don't need any reserve. It's zero reserve. So they can print money out of fucking nothing. COVID helped with that. It was called an emergency vehicle for financial creation, meaning because there was an emergency, the central bank was allowed to print as much money as they fucking wanted. And then they pump it into the stock market and all this shit. Now, a lot of people understand that. Yeah, money printer go brrrr. A lot of people understand that, but they don't understand the next step of how that actually is sustainable. How can you print money out of thin air and give that a value? Well, it's because of the petrodollar. It's because a long time ago, not that long, maybe 80 years ago, I'm sure someone in the comments will know this, but around 80 years ago, there was a contract that was signed in Saudi Arabia that said if you want fucking oil, the only way that you are able to get oil is if you buy oil with American dollars. You're not allowed to buy oil with Iraqi dinar. You're not allowed to use a Russian ruble. You're not allowed to use the Filipino peso or the Canadian dollar or the Brazilian real. You have to use American dollars. Now you might say, well, why the fuck does that matter? Because every single economy in the world needs oil. It's the lifeblood of the economy. That's why they call it the petrodollar, because you have to fucking use it to get petrol. So that means everybody wants US dollars, because unless they want to not use petrol and just fucking go back into the Stone Ages, which they won't do. So now all these countries, and we're told that there is less oil than there is, so it's worth more. Exactly, artificial scarcity. There's a lot more of everything. We're operating in artificial scarcity because they need to keep us. This is the whole thing. I'm going to tie all of this into what you just said, dude. There's like infinite amount of oil. You know, Sheol. It's the Sheol. Ask the Jews about the Sheol. They'll tell you. So now if a country needs oil, they have to get American dollars. That means now they have to create something of value in order to obtain those US dollars, right? Because you can't just say, hey, give me some US dollars, and then the American government says, okay, here you go. No, the American government are going to say, yeah, it's the same with housing, dude. It's going to all link in. Because that's the people that are creating the inflation. Because it's not even so much the Central Reserve Bank as it is the people. Because the people are consenting to this contract through their own guilt, right? And then they have to take out mortgages, right? And then they want to sell their house for more than what they bought it for. So it's an exponential increase. Now the next person, the next generation underneath them, has to borrow more money, which creates more money in circulation, which is literally the definition of inflation, the increase of money, velocity, and debt, right? That's the literal definition of it. But if you're, let's say you're a fucking country like Australia, and you want oil because your country runs on oil. Well, you need now to get American dollars. And how are you going to get them? Well, you have to get them from America. So you have to call America up, and this is a really elementary way of explaining this, and you have to say, yo, America, we need some US dollars. America aren't just going to give those dollars to you for free. They're going to say, okay, well, what can you give us in exchange? And Australia is a resource-based economy. They sell coal primarily and gold to China so that they can manufacture goods for America. So an exchange will be made. Basically, a precious metal, coal, or gold, or something else like a resource, coal, a valuable, tangible resource, will be pulled out of the ground. This actually has wealth because we can use it for industry, and that will be given to America for US dollars so that we can go and buy oil to keep manufacturing things, right? It's how it all works. But the American dollar was created out of thin air and it wasn't worth anything. So why don't countries just say, fuck you, America, I'm not going to give you my precious metals for a piece of paper, because of the American military-industrial complex. As soon as a country wants to go, yeah, exactly, dude. As soon as a country wants to go against, this is what the guy wrote, and it's literally took the words out of my mouth. That's why they took out the Gaddafi and Saddam Hussein, because they were going against this. As soon as a country wants to go against this whole fucking scam, the military comes in and gives you freedom, right? Gaddafi, and he was a loose cannon, don't get me wrong, he wanted to fucking turn the Sahara Desert into a jungle. He was coming up with these groundbreaking agricultural techniques to literally turn the fucking Sahara Desert into a lush landscape. And he also wanted to have something called a gold-backed dinar. He wanted to use a currency based on gold, and he wanted to be able to trade with other countries using oil, because remember, that part of the world is oil rich and they're sick of these US dollars. And he made a huge movement, like it was massive. So then the American military come in and they just fucking kill everybody, and they literally killed Gaddafi on national television to set an example, yeah? So that's why America is able to do this scam, because they're the biggest bullies in the fucking sandpit. And I'm not challenging the American military. I live in America right now, and I'm a beneficiary to this scam. So if I destroyed the central bank, all these Americans that want to get rid of the Fed, they say end the Fed. What do you think is going to happen when you end the Fed? It's going to be something called a power vacuum. You take out the top dog, now there's something called a power vacuum. Somebody else is going to step in, and it will not benefit you like the Central Bank of America is. You can literally get 0% interest loans in America, and your currency is so fucking strong. Why would you want to end the Fed? It's madness. But it is fucked up for everybody else, right? Because now we can create something out of thin air. We can take a nation's resources, literally because of a piece of paper, and fuel the American economy. But what this does is it actually inverts the pyramid, because, remember I talked to you about before how the pyramid works. The pyramid is inverted now because you have a resource. The number one commodity in America is the US dollar. That's what they import. That's their number one imported good. And they're basically pushing inflation to all these other nations because they have to like belittle themselves to a piece of paper and give their nations true wealth for a piece of paper. And then the wealth gets transferred back to America, right? It's the craziest scam ever. It's amazing. These little Jews, man, they're fucking good. I love you guys. But like, that's how they do it. So they make money out of thin air, and then all your real resources come back. But that creates an inverted pyramid because now the most important part of the original pyramid is the slaves at the bottom. Because in true reality, right, this fiat system is not reality. In true reality, labor and family is wealth, because the more of a workforce you have in innovation, all while populating and upping our carbon footprint simultaneously while focusing on this scam and trying to win in the unwinnable system. Yeah, but it is winnable for these guys because they're literally creating, they're doing magic, dude. It's chutzpah. They're creating wealth out of thin air, so they are winning. And we are helping them do that through our consent. Even if it is stupidity, it's still consensual. You can never say the devil made you do something because you're still consenting to the contract by using those dollars. And yeah, it is hard to like get out of the system. I get that, but at the same time, you're a part of it. And they tell you on the fucking bills, a Novus fucking Seclorium, a New World Order. Like, they're not keeping it a secret, guys. But it's fucking classic. I've, hats off, my little hat, my yarmulke off to you fucking boys at the top. So in reality, okay, labor is wealth, family is fucking wealth, and your country's resources are wealth, and that's why we have this pyramid from the bottom up to the pharaoh. But in the inverted pyramid, which is what the Zionist empire has created with fiat currency, now the pyramid is upheld with fake money, which can be created out of thin air, which is then injected into the country, and again, you steal the wealth from other nations. And it sets up an amazing system because you have all of these jobs that aren't real. Like, think of all the bureaucracy in America that doesn't do a goddamn thing for society, or like the bullshit jobs, like social media fucking moderator, how dare you say anything about the moon landing? And these people get paid a lot. There's literally troll farms that comment on people's shit and they get paid when people interact. This is all fucking facts, guys. So all of these bullshit jobs are existing because our pyramid is inverted, because the wealth is being created by the top of the pyramid. The wizards with the fucking money printer are the ones that are creating the wealth, and then it funnels down and steals wealth. So it's an upside down pyramid. Now think about this, right? In nature, an upside down pyramid won't stand up. If you try to sit a pyramid upside down, and the correct word for that is a dreidel. An upside down pyramid is called a dreidel. And if you try to stand a dreidel upside down, if you take a pyramid and stand it upside down on its point, what happens? It falls over because it's not natural. This system is not fucking natural. The only way to keep it upright is to spin it. How do we join the wizards at the top? Oh, wear a yarmulke. You have to pretty much sell your soul, dude. You will never be able to speak truth. You have to push their agendas. You have to be very, very intelligent in chutzpah and probably go to like a fucking school. But you'll go to hell when you die. And the snake eats itself, dude. These guys are going down. I guarantee you that. Like, these fuckers are going down. So when you have a pyramid upside down, the only way to keep that standing is to spin it. Spin the dreidel, and then cue the song Hava Nagala. Hava Nagala, Hava Nagala, spin that fucking dreidel, man. Spin this thing so it doesn't fall over. And in order to keep that thing spinning, you have to do psychological operations on the population. You have to keep the population not looking at the top, or I guess in this case the bottom, because it's inverted. And that's why this Tower of Babylon takes so much energy to keep the fucking dreidel spinning. And now that we're at the end of the empire, and if you're an astrologist, you'll know that America went through Pluto return, and whenever an empire goes through Pluto return, it always collapses. But these wizards have gotten some good shit going. Like, they could kick the can down the road another fucking 100 years. I don't know. I think it's going to all be completely fucking obliterated in the next 2 to 3 years. You can already see the writing on the wall. Like, they were defeated in Ukraine, completely humiliated in Ukraine, and also in Afghanistan. Like, the fucking Taliban won, and Russia, like, fucking destroyed Ukraine. So, you can see the writing on the wall, but, never underestimate these wizards. They will fucking get the dreidel spinning, and it'll keep on spinning. But in order to keep it spinning, the most threatening part of the pyramid for the guys at the top or at the bottom, the capstone, we'll say, isn't the bottom necessarily, because the bottom, the slaves and the field workers are normally too concerned with their family, and they're also super, super busy, so they don't really have time to channel energy towards the top. The most dangerous level of the pyramid for the top is the middle, you know, the media, the scribes, the academics, the intellectuals, even the merchant class, and of course the military. These are who the top of the pyramid are scared shitless of. So it is fucking crucial for the top, and I don't look at society this way. I'm more of like the outlaw in the wilderness, who each to their own. We are all gods, not to be like in a satanic way. We're not God, but we are the masters of our own destiny. Yeah. But this is how the elite look at us, like this whole pyramid thing. They have to make sure the middle of the pyramid does not attack the top of the pyramid, because then it's all over for these guys. So they use heavy sorcery, Steven Spielberg films, lots of other fucking people, Hollywood. That's why it's called entertainment, because it enters your mind, right? Intra tanamenci, if you don't speak Latin, that's enter the mind, mental, mind, ment, enter, into, to come into the mind. So they use entertainment to keep the middle of the pyramid not looking at the top. They keep them looking at the fucking bottom. That's why whenever they were running the campaigns, like the deplorables, you know, oh, these academics look down upon the trades unions, and then the trades unions look down upon the fucking peasants, and it's like this divide and conquer strategy, but it's never divided at the top. You're never looking at the top. You don't even know the names of the people at the top. Most people don't even know about Central Reserve Banking, about the Zionist Illuminati Empire. They're like, oh, white man bad, yeah, white privilege, point at the fucking, and that's the whole battery thing that I said to you guys in a previous video. Black Lives Matter, make America great again. And then your Illuminati fuckers are at the top just pulling those strings while the peasants fight. And then we raise the flag and they kill each other, and the dreidel just keeps on fucking spinning, and it's genius. But it is falling apart. I think the medical coincidental death, dying suddenly all across the world, is going to wake people up. And I also think because it's so hard for them to keep thousands of lies on top of each other, it's going to fall apart like a house of cards, and people are going to go, what the hell is going on? But it's going to be ugly as fuck. It's not going to be Mad Max, like, because you're going to have global supply chains breaking down. You're not going to have Mad Max on the streets, because most people are so dependent on drugs right now, whether it's illegal drugs or legal drugs, like antidepressant, SSRI pharmaceuticals, or whether it's just like fucking marijuana. Most of these people are not producing their own drugs, so when the supply chain comes down, they won't be able to get their drugs, and they will be fucked. So they're just going to die in a puddle of cum, starve to death. The ones that'll be the most okay is actually the farmers and the peasants, because they're producing what they eat. Yeah, it's amazing. But there's going to be a lot of fucking, try not to let that greed trickle down to you and yours. You don't want to be at the top. No, you don't want to be at the top, Twiznip. Fucking Twiznip. And when you get to the top, what do you see? You look out. When you get to the top of the capstone, you look out and you see more fucking pyramids. You actually see, as far as the horizon, there's just more pyramids. And then you see the butterfly coming out of the cocoon actually in their own internal thing, because we're all one consciousness, and within is without, and the true power comes from within. And if you're playing the pyramid game, you sell your fucking soul and you lose anyway. Like, what is the point of gaining the world to lose your life, or something like that, right? So yeah, but I'm just explaining because what I'm seeing is the collapse, like imminent collapse. I do not see the supermarkets being empty, completely barren, because they have their wizardry food, their goy slop, but I see no nutrition in the grocery stores. So you guys might want to get some food production or friends with local farmers and communities, because you're going to be fucked. Also, the price of everything is going to keep going up and up and up and up as the fiat currency system begins to collapse, because they can literally just keep printing more and more out of thin air, and that means everything gets more expensive, and your wages are not going to go up. I wouldn't be surprised if they went down, because you're going to have global migration, because everywhere's falling apart. We're running to the developed world. So now if you're going to do a job for fucking $30 an hour, well, guess what, motherfucker? There's going to be a Guatemalan who'll do it for 15. And I hope you like sleeping in a house full of fucking drug addicts, because that's what's going to happen. The time frame on this, I'll put $100 on red right now. I'm gonna say 5 years. But it's not going to be like the movies. I've been training my body to digest the grass and other leafy greens I find in the woods behind my house. Yeah, that's great, dude. Keep eating grass. You'll be fine. And it's not going to be like you go in the supermarket. It'll just be really shitty foods and it'll be super, super expensive. I hope you've enjoyed this stream. I'm pretty much out of things to say. 45 minutes in, I guess that's a little longer than what I wanted to talk about. I'm gonna keep the private stream going for my Patreons because I might even try to open up. It's called Live With You. I will not eat the grass. What are you gonna eat then, bro? Sperm? You're gonna live on jizz. We're gonna go to Disneyland. A lot of people can't go a week without jizzing their pants, dude. So that's how intense it's going to be when Babylon falls. If you look at the last time Babylon fell, it was a fucking shit show. So get away from the cities. Dude, I have the same fake white flower on my kitchen table. Yeah, man, synchronicities are off the charts. There's an abundance of white flowers around, man. This shit was probably made in China. China! You know there's a China in Ukraine? How's that for a psyop? So remember when they were talking about we're going to destroy the biolabs in China? I wonder if there was really some Illuminati signaling going on right there. You can tell people that, they'll call you batshit crazy, but there is a China in Ukraine, and it's spelled Chyna. China. You're so quiet. Can you turn up your volume, sir? Oh man, I'm sorry, dude. I'd fucking bullshit, man. There's always something out to get me, whether it's the Jews or the volume on my phone or fucking schizophrenics in the street. There's always something, man. Is that better? What if I sit closer to the phone? I don't have a setup, like I don't have a microphone or anything like that. But if you go and support me on Patreon, I'll use all that money and I'll buy a fucking legitimate microphone, bro. I'll buy a fucking megaphone. I have that same pen. I know, right? Diamonds shine bright like a diamond. You know the diamond thing is bullshit too. That's artificial scarcity. Even if it's the volume, it's really the Jews. You win again, Jews. You fucking win again, Jews. I'm just happy to keep the chat rolling. If you guys keep commenting, I'll keep talking. But if you don't, gonna grab your Patreon this week, cuz. Do it, man. Really, we got a private Telegram chat, and we've got some very triggering content within the Telegram chat. It's a really nice place to be. We're one big happy family. We're talking about having an annual gathering, an annual tribal gathering where we'll be, going and doing neurotropics in the woods. Haha, what's up? Vicodin, brother, man, and the OG. I was interested in a bit more of the Tartarian geometry. Oh, that's a fucking passion of mine, brother. Passionalmente, cara. Nós passamos aqui falar português? Sim? Aqui? Não? Entende? Anyway, Tartarian Empire, whether it was Tartarians or Phoenicians or whoever the fuck it was, there's clearly there's something going on in our history, guys. You're telling me these convicts in Australia with horse and buggy built those fucking buildings, dude? There's no fucking way in hell. Even with our exponential increase in technology, right? There's no fucking way, man. You call up a contractor, and I might even do a prank call, and I might even film it on my YouTube channel. Let's say, like, the fucking State Victoria Library in Melbourne. Go look that fucking building up. It's the geodescent domes and all that shit. Even with the fucking exponential increase in technology, if you got on the phone right now and said you're a billionaire, hello, this is Donald Trump. I'm wondering if you could build me a replica of the State Library of Victoria, please. There's no contractor on the fucking face of the earth that will build you the State Library of Victoria. No fucking way in hell, man. First of all, it's probably going to cost you like $1 trillion in fucking concrete. And is there any master masons that can replicate that today? There's no fucking way, man. Not a chance in hell. So the point being is people can't build that shit. And you're thinking that these motherfuckers on horse and buggy built that shit? What about France, man? And I think that the New Testament of the Bible happened. See, this is why I like the comments, man, because now I'm going off on a tangent about the New Testament. I think the story of the New Testament, this is going to trigger a lot of people, but it's okay. It's just a thought, right?
My guess is that the controllers pull off a reset and culture, etc. every couple hundred years, maybe 300 to 400. I love you so much. Been a long time observer. Keep spreading the truth, brother. I love you too, man.
I love you, I love you, I love you. That's our mantra for this evening. I love you. I love you. Someone should cut this and take it out of context. I love you, I love you, I love you. Sig hail, sig hail, sig hail. I love you, I love you, I love you. Sig hail, sig hail, sig hail. Okay, so I just lost all my subscribers for that one. But anyway, yeah, these people can't build Tartarian buildings. They cannot build Tartarian buildings, man. Call up a contractor. Do DMT. I am DMT, my friend. I'll tell you something trippy about DMT. Joe Rogan never has done DMT. Remember how that fucking sodomite toe was telling people to do DMT and all that shit? He's never done it, man. So anyway, I want to do a prank phone call where I'm like, yo, I do a Donald Trump impersonation. Hello, this is Donald Jamarcus Trunk. Fuck, I can't do it anymore. Sleepy Joe Biden, radical left Democrats. Sleepy Joe, I want you to build me a building. I want you to do the Temple of Notre Dame. It's in Paris. That's what I was going to say. The New Testament, I think, happened in France, bro. I think... Stop retracting your messages, dude. Stop retracting your motherfucking messages. Yeah, Sleepy Joe. Sleepy Joe. So what if the New Testament happened in France? Hear me out, ladies and gentlemen. All the saints, right? Mary Magdalene, fucking... Saint Peter, ooh, they're all in France, guys. And you're telling me this story happened in the Middle East, which is a fucking desert, and they were using crosses to crucify people? You know how you make a cross? It's out of wood. Do you know where wood comes from? Big trees. You see any big trees in the deserts? No. Where do you see big fucking trees? France. And think about the names. Mary and Joseph. They don't sound very fucking Middle Eastern to me, bro. Mary and Joseph sound super French. And we also have turning water into wine. Very French, if you ask me. But there's a whole conspiracy theory about it. But let's say you were a subcontractor, or you were Donald Jamarcus Trump. Sleepy Joe! If you were Donald Trump and you called the biggest construction company in France, I don't know who they are, Google it, biggest construction company in France, get their phone number and call them up and be like, bonjour, parlez-vous français? Oui, oui, oui. I need to build the Temple of Notre Dame, yes. And I think that was King Solomon's temple. Dude, I'm putting it all together. Anyway, New Testament happened in France. You heard it here first. No, you didn't. There's probably somebody else that came up with that idea, I guarantee it. But anyway, call the fucking construction company in France, guys. The biggest one. I'll do it. If you guys don't want to fucking take one for the team, I will do it and I will film it. And I'll try to do a Donald Trump voice the whole time I'm on the phone. Call this construction company in France and be like, yo, I want to build the Temple of Notre Dame in my backyard. What's it going to cost? People can't build that shit, man. There was a superior people that built all that shit. And if you look at Australia, the official story is all these convicts were sent here with horse and buggy, and they were derelicts, right? They were convicts. They weren't fucking Freemason extraordinaires. They were like pieces of shit that would steal a loaf of bread because they were so peasant. You know, think about the Irish famine. These fuckers lived on an island. You're telling me they couldn't fish? Stupid fucks, man. They couldn't fish themselves out of a famine. What fucking stupid retards. I'm Irish descendant, so I'm sorry to my ancestors, but what the fuck, guys? You couldn't fish your way out of a famine living on a fucking island? You had to just eat potatoes? Like, these things don't add up, right? If you're on a fucking island, there's no such thing as famine. You're surrounded by ocean, which is a food bowl. And what are you doing? I have to eat me potatoes and piss in my fucking mouth because I'm an Irish fucking retard. Or I do a little jig and eat me fucking potatoes. You know, these things don't make sense. And people are just like, checks out, lived on an island, had no food. These people, man, these people. History isn't what we think it is. But what I will tell you is the official narrative for the Australian population is that these fucks came from England because they were petty criminals, not exactly master masons, and they came here with horse and buggy and built the state fucking library of Victoria with horse and buggy and fucking hammer and chisel. No way, mate. Call up the biggest fucking construction company in Australia and say, look, I want to build the Victorian State Library, an exact replica. And this is the thing, they've even got the blueprints. Like, they're copying. Like, if you call the construction company right now and you say, look, I need you to build the Victoria State Library, 1-to-1, exact fucking replica, what's it going to cost? It would literally be trillions of dollars, and no one would be skilled enough to do it. And they have the fucking blueprint. They can make a copy. The ones that built that first, they weren't copying, brah. They were building that shit out of their mind. Their mind field built a fucking tower. You see what I'm saying, guys? There was an advanced society, highfalutin society that would, like, look at you guys and be like, what the fuck happened, okay? And look at the doors on these fucking things. Giant fucking 12 foot tall doors, okay? Maybe they were very tall. Maybe they were gigantics. Gigantopithecus. So anyone want to add a comment? Because I'm running out of things to say, and I might open up a private chat. So if you're not in my Telegram, please join, because I really want to see you guys in the Telegram chat. We got 9 people in the Telegram chat. No doubt they were more advanced. Oh, 100 fucking %. Right? Not even that long ago. Do you think this advanced civilization were jerkers? No way, man. No way. You don't build the fucking Taj Mahal and have a whack on your lunch break, man. If you're building the Taj Mahal, you're praising the Almighty on your lunch break. You're putting the glory to the Most High in your work. Yeah, people don't do that anymore. People are just fucking looking for the dollar, yo, and it's a useless piece of paper, and their inverted pyramid's about to collapse, and they're gonna go hungry. So does anyone else want to comment, or am I wrapping it up at 56 minutes 33 seconds? I heard some random thing about paint losing lead because then the EMF goes through the walls. Thought that was interesting. Yeah, that's a good fucking point. You know what would make you a lot of money? I got a business idea. Have you heard about Incan and Mayan temples similarly to computer chips? Do you think these large structures had further uses? Oh, 100%, man, 100%. Oh, dude, I got some crazy ideas on 5G, man. Strap yourself in. Strap yourself in, Vicodin, because I'm going to blow your fucking brain. But ignorance is bliss, and while most are learning what it would be like, Twizznips. I can't take you seriously, dude, with a name like Twizznips, but that's alright. My name's pretty fucking fried as well. But ignorance is bliss, and while... I'm going to get to the comments. But ignorance is bliss, and while most are learning of what it would take in order to do some real good, it'll still take tides for us to understand. It'll just take mass death, bro. If you want to get into a good business right now, I would be looking at monatoriums, like cremation, you know? And no, that's all. Monatoriums, because we're going to have a lot of death, and that's what it'll take. Everything collapses, and then we have to build up without the inverted pyramid. Say goodbye to your precious fiat currency. You're going to have to work those fields like a fucking house nigger. I don't mean a field nigger. You're going to have to work those fields, and nigger doesn't mean black, guys. Remember Chris Rock? I love black people, but I hate niggers. There's plenty of white niggers too, okay? It's not a fucking... It means niggerly, like cheap, poor, retarded. There's not enough power to melt the bodies. Okay, that's why you got to bring up... Dude, maybe that's what the fucking concentration camps were, right? Maybe this has all happened before. The inverted pyramid can't sustain itself for long. And the Holocaust means the burnt offering. Who the fuck were they burning, and who were they offering to? I mean, seriously, guys. If we have shit hitting the fan and bodies are piling up in the fucking streets, how the hell do we manage that? Have you ever smelt a dead body? I fucking have. It stinks. Fucking, there was a dead guy that hid in the bushes and he died, and it fucking stunk. Like, you could be 5 miles down the road and you still smelt it. And that was one dead body. Could you imagine, like, because this is how it'll go down, right? People will start getting hungry, institutions will start falling apart. If fiat currency has no value, they can inject money into the system, but it doesn't do anything. Why would you go to work for, even if they increase the wage to $100 an hour, minimum wage, it doesn't mean shit if it's useless pieces of paper. No one goes to work, system falls apart, no one's getting rid of the bodies, guys. There's no 911 to fucking call. People start taking drugs because they're already taking drugs, bro. Everyone's fucked on drugs, whether it's over-the-counter pharmaceutical SSRIs because I'm so depressed, or they can't fucking go a day without smoking a bong. They're drug fucked. Sugar is a drug. I don't know. I've heard people say that, but is it really? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not gonna make judgment on that call. I'm not gonna make that claim. I'm not gonna make the claim that sugar's a drug. But what you're gonna see is the body's piling up, and if you're in crematorium business, you're worth a lot of money.
No, as a whole, we're becoming more aware. The volume only turns up.
Yeah, but what's the point of awareness without solutions? You know, that's the problem. There's no solution-based awareness. It's just like, oh, look at what the Illuminati are doing. So this is America, Tucker Carlson and I. Look what they're doing. But there's no fucking solutions whatsoever, you know. Like, people are complaining about the GMOs. Are they growing their own food? Nada. People are complaining about fucking lowered sperm count, but they're jacking off to porn every single day. Like, people can be aware, but if there's no solutions, it doesn't fucking matter. Babylon will still fall, bruh, and you can cling onto the tower as it burns, and it'll engulf you. What about that festival, Burning Man? They're literally paying homage to the fucking fires and hell of brimstone that will unleash on a civilization coming to you. That's why I said volume turns up. What do you mean? Elaborate, please, Twiznip. Twiznip, I'm turning up the volume. I'm turning up the volume, Twiznip. Get it? Because your name's Twiznip. Okay. Okay. And it's no hate to you, Twiznip. I love you, man. I love you. I just really love your name, and I want to twist my nipples. Synthagorus is killing okay? No, dude. Killing is not okay. Thou shalt not kill. Remember your commandments, brother. But what they really mean... Okay, my thoughts on 5G. Awareness and disillusion turns up. Yeah, it totally keeps up, man. It's already happening. It's called discernment. This is the year of discernment. That's the actual correct English definition for what you're trying to say. People's discernment is turning up because the black magician knows if you move the rock, you have to kill the flower, or as the scientismo calls it, cause and effect. So when you push this agenda so hard, and I'm going back to the Tower of Babylon message, every brick takes more energy than the one underneath it. The system implodes. People see through it. You now know that there's a secret compartment and the fucking magician pulls the rabbit out of his hat. Well, guess what? There's a secret compartment. So the people's ability to discern is going up. It's called the Great Awakening. Ooh, the Great fucking Awakening. You know, but big fucking deal. If you're awake to it, but you're not providing any solutions, what's the point? You may as well just go back to sleep. Fucking suck on the government's teat. You know what I mean? But the discernment is 100% coming to the surface. I mean, most people now can see through it, thanks to the jab and the Russian war and all that fucking crap. Everyone's discernment is like turning up, Twiznip. This is the discernment factor. We're high on discernment. But how does Babylon counter this? What they'll do is they'll invent speech laws. How dare you say the moon landing was fake? And it won't even be coming from the government because they have the First Amendment, freedom of speech. It'll be coming from those things I said earlier, the corporation, the corpus oration. If you don't know how to speak Latin, that means the voice of the fucking dead. Because it is a dying heap of shit, right? And now the death has a voice. Wow. Talk about a zombie corporation. So the corpus oration will be implementing speech laws. Look at YouTube, right? If you say anything that goes against the grain, they shadow ban you, or they just kick you off entirely. When I did my video about 5G, Andrew Tate, the top G, I wasn't allowed to post for fucking 6 months. Jokes, I've never seen anything like that. Huh? What are you talking about, Ben Martin? But yeah, you want to hear my fucking crazy theory about 5G? 5G is very much a conspiracy theorist wet dream, man. Fuck, I whack off to 5G. Let's talk 5G. Let's do it. Okay. Well, you may already know this if you've been in my Telegram, because I've already spoken about it numerous times. If you're not in my Telegram, please go there. It's t.me/YouTube unfriendly. I'm talking like an artificial intelligence robot right now. I wonder how much I can speak before I take a breath. I don't know. I'll just keep going and going and going. Okay, so if you haven't joined my Telegram, please do that. t.me/YouTube unfriendly. Get in there now. But if you haven't ever joined, because you're a fucking gimp, I'll explain to you right now the 5G conspiracy theory. How the fuck do you protect yourself from 5G? Faraday cage, bro. Tinfoil hat. These motherfuckers were already psyoping you in the 60s. It's a tinfoil hat. People think that tinfoil hats are for schizophrenic adjacents. No, dude, they're for the woke. I wrap my fucking whole body in tinfoil. every morning, okay? And I'm like, you know, the Muslims when they fucking, I love my Muslims, guys. Inshallah to all of you. Like, seriously, you're the only Abrahamic faith that hasn't totally cucked. And big love. I wrap myself up in tinfoil and I cut the eyes and the mouth, and that's how I protect myself from 5G. But if you don't want to look like a fucking crazy fuck,
Important to mention tinfoil, not aluminum foil.
yes, big difference between tinfoil and aluminum foil. Why do you think they took tinfoil off the market, guys? Why do you think tinfoil costs $33.33, Illuminati confirmed, for a tiny little roll? Tiny little roll. Tiny little roll. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. Tiny little roll. $33.33. Because it protects you from EMFs, and they do not want you protected from EMFs, okay? But if you don't want to look like a nutjob schizophrenic with a tinfoil hat, what I suggest is you look up Faraday clothing, brought to you by some other woke fucking schizophrenic freak on the internet. Faraday clothing, okay, is going to change the game for all you fucking schizos. Gay. Word destroyer. P word destroyer. Let me guess, you destroyed another man's asshole before you got on this stream. Am I right? Gay. Anyway, the Faraday clothing, how is that spelled? Fuck knows, dude. Faraday. I'm sure Google will correct it if you get it wrong. F-A-R-A-D-A-Y. Faraday clothing is basically a t-shirt, okay, with Faraday geometric patterns, and it stops you, it protects you from EMF radiation. And they've got hats, they've got t-shirts, they've got jocks.
Word destroyer is probably a chronic masturbator.
Oh, Word destroyer literally just whacked off to fucking a bukkake homoerotica fucking thing.
Imagine being this wanked out, you think a pattern protects you.
Wanked out. It's not just a pattern, dude. Have you ever heard of a Faraday cage? It's literally a scientific fact. Ooh, I'm retarded. Yeah, so a Faraday cage doesn't let any EMF go in. And these same people, these same fucking retards like P Destroyer, who's just a chronic fapulating fuck, they'll use the Faraday cage analogy to like explain why we're on a ball. But then whenever you like use Faraday caged as actually its real use, which is to protect from electromagnetic frequencies, they're like, imagine being so wanked out. Yeah, dude, just go back to the fucking Daily Wire, bro, or go back to fucking...
The wavelengths are too big to go through the gap.
Exactly. There's a whole deal to it. But don't worry, these guys are just gammas. They're very low status men, or, you know, very, very low status men that have to just ankle bite in the comment section. Because they suck, man. They suck. But what I was talking about is the Faraday cage and the clothing. They are us. Yeah, in some way, I guess. We're all connected. We're all one. They are us in some way. And don't be getting triggered about the little twiz-nips, bro. It's a joke. I love your name.
As much as we choose not to associate our consciousness, does 5G make us less conscious?
So I think 5G is a fucking weapon, dude. And this is going to really wig out homo fuckboy over in the corner. He's going to just like probably violently masturbate when I say this, because they actually get off on pain. They're like hate commenting and whacking off at the same time. It's a true fact. So this is like, you're going to come from this, bro. Okay? I'm going to make you come. So at least hit the Rogan up. This is an out there conspiracy theory. So I want you to strap yourselves in, okay? I know some, and an apology if you already heard this. If you're in my Telegram, don't even worry. I've already said this. Join up my Telegram if you're not in my Telegram. So this is really out there, guys, even for me. Strap in. So I've got a couple of friends that are into cell phone repairs.
Get shaft in hand, word destroyer. It's about to happen.
Yeah, that's it. 5G microwaves, your brain's coming up. I'm ready. Yeah, word destroyer's just got his hand on his cock, just like, fucking give me the conspiracy theories. Give me the conspiracy theories. Gay porno doesn't do it for me anymore. I'm an autistic fucking artificial intelligence that needs conspiracy theories to ejaculate. Anyway, sorry, P-word. You're a piece of shit. I'm not apologizing to you. You're here. You're insulting me and you're still here, dude. Fuck you. So, the conspiracy theory I'm about to drop right now. And, okay. So, I've got a few friends in the cell phone repair industry. Actually, I've got one friend in the cell phone repair industry. Now, what he told me, okay, is that every single cell phone that's been brought to market connects to a different type of cell tower. So you had your first generation phones, which was the original iPhone, iPhone 2, and they connected to some sort of network. I don't know what it's called. And then you had the iPhone 3 come out, and it's the same with the Samsungs and everything, but I'm an iPhone guy. I don't really, I'm the guy that ate the forbidden apple. It's right on their fucking logo, right? Eve, she bit the apple for the tree of knowledge, and now your cell phone has the fucking bitten apple on it. Wow! Fucking Eve, man. But Adam was a cuck. He let Eve eat the fucking apple, and now we're condemned for eternity. Oh boy, that tickles! Anyway, so the cell phone, iPhone 3 come out, and then we go on to the 3G network, right? And when the difference between the iPhone 1, 2, and the 3 is that the iPhone 3 had a different microprocessing chip inside of it because it was connecting to a different cell tower. Basically, a different kind of aerial, a different kind of transmission receiver, if you will, because it needed to connect, obviously, to the 3G instead of the 2G. I don't think it was called the 2G. See you, mate. I don't think it was connected to the 2G. I think it was called something else. But it connects now to the 3G. After that, we have 4G, which is your iPhone 4s, your iPhone 5s, I think maybe even your iPhone 6s, 7s, 8s. And if you're in America, when you're connected to a 4G tower, it'll say LTE in the top right-hand corner of the screen. It'll have your service provider, Verizon, and then it'll have LTE or whatever. If you're unable to connect to LTE, you'll go back to 3G. Now, the phones that went from 3G to 4G, again, and this is coming from an expert in the field, a good friend of mine, and he's an Australian guy, he's been repairing phones for like years and years and years, knows all about phones. Between the iPhone 2 and the iPhone 3, when we changed networks, there was a different receiver in the phone, yeah? Because we're using a different cell tower. We need a different receiver. Now, this is where shit gets weird. When we upgraded to 5G, and if I'm wrong, I want someone to, you can do it in the comment section, fucking P-word will just have a fucking huge ejaculation if I'm proved wrong. He'll be like, I told you, you're a conspiracy theory nut job, ah! But I don't think I'm wrong, because this is coming from a professional in the industry. When they went from the 4G phones to the 5G phones, and that's the new generation, the receiver was completely the same. Meaning they never had a new receiver. So either they already were planning way ahead and they knew that they were going to have 5G technology and they already had that ingrained in the 4G receiver. But my mind tells me that those towers have nothing to do with cell service. I'm in a really fortunate position as well because I live on an island and I know exactly where all the towers are on my island, which is isolated by a giant fucking ocean. So it's very localized, and the best way to do science is by isolating variables, which is very fortunate for me because I can isolate myself from many, many variables. And what I've noticed is that the cell reception or cell service after the implementation of 5G towers has exponentially taken a shit. It doesn't work anymore. I don't get service fucking anywhere anymore. And I have the new generation cell phone, okay? I have the iPhone that can connect to 5G. There's an extinction event going on. Synthegoras. Oh, Synthegoras. That sounds like some Jewish witchcraft. Synthegoras. Everything we touch is 10 years ago tech and they sell us old tech. Yeah, I agree with all of that. But the point I'm trying to make is there isn't a new receiver in the cell phones right now, meaning those towers that they erected, and that was during COVID lockdowns, yeah? When everyone was locked down in their house, they built these fucking towers, and then your cell phones don't even have the ability to connect to these towers. And even though I have a 5G phone, it doesn't connect to 5G. It still says LTE. Can you give us a date for Breath Token? No, I can't. It's already made. The chain is live, but the problem is, if I want this thing to be a success, I have to launch it with the momentum of the market. If you try to launch a new crypto token in a bear market, it's going to be a failure, So it has to be, Donald Trump business lesson 101. Momentum, folks. You got to have momentum. If you don't have momentum, you're fucked. But the point being is that these new cell phones don't have a new receiver. they have a 4G receiver, yet they're 5G phones.
So what I'm trying to say is,
these towers have nothing to do with cell phone. So what are they then? What actually are they? I wish I was around a campfire and I could do the the flashlight in your face, like a fear porn ghost story. Ooh, what are the towers? I think the towers are going to be used to fake a nuclear bomb. Holy moly. Why do I think that? Well, other than having a friend, look how cracked out I look. Other than having a friend who's in the cell phone industry, I also have a friend who's more of an acquaintance actually, that helped actually erect those towers. And he told me, and I mean, this is his word, I don't think he's lying, but again, this is anecdotal evidence, I don't have documents, I don't have the Alex Jones documents to prove it. He told me that there's a frequency range on these towers, meaning they can be turned up, okay? The problem, he said, is that the amount of electricity that would be needed to fucking crank them up would be like insane. They need super amounts of electricity to do this. But then you've got to think, right? You put your detective thinking cap on and you think means, motive, opportunity, and you think about these things that don't make sense. Again, the new phones don't have a receiving microchip in them for the 5G towers, okay? The towers are so close to one another. I don't know how like detective-minded you guys are, but if you notice the 5G towers in your neighborhood, take mental notes, guys, to see how many of these fucking things there are. I noticed many of those 5G towers antennas are placed on water towers here. Yeah, dude, and they're fucking... So, like, the little town I live in, it's small. Like, to get from one side of town to the other, it's like less than 5 miles. It's probably like three or 4 miles, right, to go from one side of town to the other. And just in that, it's like a strip. It's like a Las Vegas strip. I used to think Oregon would help. Yeah, it could, man. And I think those Faraday cages will definitely help as well. And you know what else is a trip?
I remodeled a house for a man that was a boss at the Pentagon. Long story short, I set the alarm off at his house one day. It wasn't a normal alarm. Made my ears bleed. Asked him about it, and he told me. Well, what did he tell you, Ben Martin? Keep the suspense, bro. You're fucking killing me.
But yeah, fucking...
Next World War is going to be called the Invisible Way. Oh, Sonic.
Yeah, dude, the fucking sonic warfare. And so in my little town that I'm residing currently, and again, we don't have a residence, we have a permanent postal location. We reside inside of our temple, which is our body. But like this township, you know, it's small. It's like one strip. Think about Las Vegas, how it's a strip. I'd like to see how many towers they got there. Just in that fucking 3 mile strip, I have personally counted over a dozen fucking towers. They are fucking everywhere, and you don't get any cell service, and you don't connect to those towers. It still says LTE, 4G. I had a friend that actually, so they got one on top. They got this they got this fucking health food market in this town, and it's a health food market. But then there's also like a bedroom, like a studio apartment, sorry. And then there's people that live there on top of the store. It's like the health food store on the bottom, and then on top it's like an apartment complex. And then on top of that is this fucking tower. It's almost like maybe not all towers are cell towers, Nimbus. Yeah, this dude's super gamer. But this guy that lived in the fucking apartments, man, when they put those towers there, dude, he went from like normal, everyday, regular guy, pretty cool, pretty based, and he turned into this giant faptard, bro. Like, and it nearly fucking destroyed him, bro. He fucking had to go to hospital, and then he said that he like saw God and shit, and he just meditated for days. And I've started using the permanent postal address. Such a good one. What do you mean you're not trolling? Just curious. No, dude, I like Ben Martin. What do you ask away, bro? I don't even see the comment. Hold on. Next, well, yeah, no, dude, Sonic Warfare. So he basically, long story short, I wasn't the same after the smart meter installation. So yeah, dude, my friend just got completely fucked, bro, and like, I thought he was gonna die. He healed, but he moved away from those towers, so that's a good thing. But just pay attention to how you feel when you're around those towers. And now maybe that I've said that, it might be like a placebo thing, or I guess it's a nocebo, yeah, because you never actually took anything. But it might be a nocebo effect, and you might think that you're feeling fried out, but try to just drop into your body and really see if you feel something. Hold on a sec, guys. I think there's somebody at my door. I've been talking about the towers. They're fucking coming for me. What do you want? Okay, there's no one there. It's all good. Thought the Jews were knocking at me door again, coming from a foreskin. The Jewish mafia were fucking knocking at my door with a big pair of scissors to clip my dick.
Seriously, if I had the time, I could prove the negative effect that smart meter had on me. Oh, definitely, bro.
If you see Yarmulkes run, I'm out the fucking door, man. But I like them, dude. I had some good fucking buddies, like really high level Jays as well, like actual chutzpah witchcraft Jews. And man, I get along with them so good. Like, think about a world without Jews, dude. No more Hollywood, no more fiat money, no more fucking. Like, they bring a lot to this world, man, really. Even if you're a bitchute Nazi or whatever, I love the little guys, man. They're like little fun leprechauns and super fun to hang out with, especially if they know their chutzpah and they're like musically talented. It's on, boys. Good chatting. Have a good day. Thanks, Twiznip. I hope you didn't get too triggered about your fucking nippies getting twisted, man. But if you did get triggered, then yeah, I think you need to, have a long, hard think about that. So yeah, that's my conspiracy theory, guys, that the 5G towers are actually a microwave weapon, and that they can be turned up at will and they can fry you to death. Mr. Aryan, let us in, we're just a little snack. Yeah, they don't use scissors, they use their teeth, the traditional Orthodox rabbis. Wouldn't that be fucking scary? You wake up in the middle of the night and fucking Rabbi Finkelstein is biting your foreskin off. Dude, that's like a nightmare. I'm more paranoid about that than I am the 5G towers. Fry my brain any day, guys. But yeah, that's the conspiracy theory. I think that it's a microwave weapon. I think that they can be turned up, and I think that they can actually fry you out. Rabbi, sleep paralysis. They're an MP. Yeah, they could be an EMP. I never thought of that, but that's so simple and so true. They could totally shut down the grid like that. Yeah, I'm coming back to Australia for a little bit. I might do a little trip to Australia in April. Or not might. That's what's on the cards. I'm just scared to go there, man, because of how Nazi it got over there and like the authoritarian regime. I am literally fucking terrified to fly into Australia. But I can't live in fear, can I? Because then the Jews win. What do you need a recap on, bro? The post office. I love the post office, man. Hey, bro, I'm still in Cribby. It's pretty good still. Nice, man. Yeah, it was bad in Australia. Yeah, it was really messed up in Australia, man. But yeah, fucking, that's the theory. If you want to recap post office, and I love the post office, it's the only institution that I'd ever donate money to. I archive all these live streams, bro. All you got to do is go on to fucking like my YouTube channel and click live, and you'll see the live stream. And if you're watching this after an archive, hit the Rogans up, man. The thumb, hit the Rogans up. I've been talking for 82 minutes, guys. If you're still here, you definitely do not have ADHD. That means you have a good poo theory. What's the Iron Republic? It's the country that's over the ice wall, dude. Allegedly. When you go, there was a couple of old school voyages from way back in the day. You can look up Admiral Byrd and a couple other ones, but allegedly these guys, actually a German expedition, made it past Antarctica and kept going, and apparently there was a republic on the other side called the Iron Republic. You probably won't find anything of that on the internet, but yeah, that's what that is. But yeah, always good to get a recap. You can go and look at the fucking, all the previous archive. But in summary, do you believe in Hollow Earth? No. I mean, yeah, of course. I mean, there's cave networks, right? I mean, define hollow, that without an interior. If there's cave networks, to some extent, right? Yes. There's giant underground cave networks, so of course. I mean, it's never a cutthroat yes or no answer. Whenever it's a binary, it's always bullshit. Like the flat Earth, it's obviously not flat because there's mountains and oceans and valleys, right? Yeah, of course, giants are real, dude. You remember me? I'm a Bray Six. Don't remember you, bro. Many Native American societies have it. Yeah, I know, but think if there's just giant cave networks that go into the ground. Like, that could totally be a thing, and there could totally be people inside of these cave networks that are way down in there. Especially if there was times in our not so distant past where perhaps it was too hot to live on the, oh yeah, I know you, brother, too hot to live, perhaps people retreated into the caves. And then if you think about even in scripture, when it talks about the Canaanites and that type of thing, they were cave-dwelling people, yeah? But I mean, it's all speculation. I've never been deep inside the earth. Joining the Patreon, always a pleasure to hear you speak. Thanks, Dylan, bro. Big love. I love you, I love you, I love you. Shalom, namaste, and aloha, brother. Yeah, go click on the link in my video, in my previous videos, and you'll see the link in there to go into my Patreon. We've got a private chat. We've got AI generators in there. It's fucking off the hizzy, mate. It's great. I really, really like it. You guys make it what it is, really, your comments. Like, there's no way I'd be able to talk for 85 minutes if you guys weren't commenting. I literally had nothing to talk about today, and your comments just made it. But to recap, to finish off, the 5G towers are an electromagnetic frequency weapon that will fry you if they turn them on. And personally, I don't believe in nuclear bombs. I think nuclear bombs are fake. I mean, I know they have big bombs to blow, like they can blow the fuck out of shit. But in terms of like radiation clouds that linger for millions of years, Donald Trump, millions of years, I don't think that's true at all. And why do I think that? Well, the only nuclear bombs that were allegedly used in time of war were Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and there's no radiation there anymore. Like, you can go visit them and they're completely normal. And they did nuclear bomb testing in Nevada and Australia, everywhere, all over the world. They did these crazy nuclear bomb testings. Like, they detonated like millions and billions of nuclear bombs, and there's no fucking radiation fallout. Also, if you take Hiroshima and Nagasaki and you look at the most destroyed cities in Japan, Hiroshima and Nagasaki are not even in the top 10, okay? So, like, yeah, but what I think is the nuclear bomb myth is super embedded into our conscious psyche, and they have to, like, try to pull off a nuclear bomb. Like, so they can, and think about the ultimate control they could have, and if they can turn those 5G towers on and fake radiation, and guys, if you follow the Canadian prepper, he believes in nuclear bombs, but he's really cool. Like, he said that the governments were buying all the iodine, and that's actually what you use to treat radiation poisoning. There is a such thing as radiation, but it's to radiate. It's just heat, yeah? It's just heat. Oh, Dylan just pledged. Fuck yeah, Dylan. Appreciate you, man. Much love. Radiation is to radiate. It's just the air that's been heated up. And if they've got these microwave weapons and they turn them on at full power, they can totally heat the air up, and you would get radiation sickness, like what they tell you in their Hollywood movies, like where your skin starts to bubble up like a fucking microwave. And then what the governments could do, or they're not even the governments, what the satanic Zionist elite corporation, Voice of the Dead, what they will say is, a nuclear bomb was detonated 500 miles away over there, but there's a radiation cloud coming, so stay indoors and wait for the TV to tell you that it's safe to go outside. And then they'll turn those towers up, and people will be fried out. But really, it'll just be, 5G towers, high-frequency microwave technology with propaganda, brainwashing, television, to just sort of do the other emergency vehicle to create more fiat currency and keep the dreidel spinning.
Or here's an anti-radiation vaccine.
Yeah, fuck yeah. The governments are coming to give it to you in their hazmat suits. But anyway, I think I'm done talking, guys. I talked for 88 minutes. If you hung around that whole time, that's fucking crazy. Yeah, join my Patreon, guys. Join my fucking Patreon and join the chat, because it's really epic in there. And what we need when Babylon burns is a like-minded community. A like-minded community of fucking legends who can... Shalom aloha, Brother Deacon. Much love, man. I love you, I love you, I love you. What we need is, building... Shalom aloha, fellow Jew. I am 1/16 Jewish. That's why I can see through the black magic. Great stream. Bless you. Bless you too, Naya. Shalom aloha, brother. I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. I wish I could have made it from the beginning of this. Yeah, man, just join, bro. Just fucking join the fucking Patreon. And I've got all my shit archived so you can go back and watch it from the beginning. The shitty thing about YouTube, if you're not a paid member, like YouTube Red or whatever, you fucking don't get, like, background play. you don't get background play, bro. So that sucks. That's why I'm streaming on Telegram. So if you're not on my fucking Telegram, join my Telegram now. t.me/YouTube unfriendly, because then you can background play the shit. And if you really want to go fucking hardball, go into my Patreon and join. It's $5 a month. It's less than a beer a fucking month, guys. And beer is going to give you man boobs, and it's going to make you cuckold, and it's going to lower your sperm count. My Patreon actually increases your sperm count, bro. You'll be able to knock a chick up with pre-cum. You'll have a pre-cum baby, but that's great, because most pre-cum babies have Down syndrome, and I'm actually creating a farm. It's called Down Syndrome Farms, because Down syndromes are very easily entertained, and they seek gratification and pleasure from doing simple mundane tasks. It's really beautiful. It's angelic. So we're going to have all our Down syndrome children working on the farm, and it's just going to be such a beautiful, harmonious experience for all of you guys who are involved. So with that being said, join me on Patreon, and I'm going to open up a private stream and talk for another 90 minutes and 69 seconds. Shoot, I could do that. Consider it done. Yeah, Zodiac Core, $5 a month, and you'll be in my chat room, and we can talk story. And the people in there are fucking solid, man. It's a really, really good group of people. So you should join up and, you know, contribute to the group, or just be a fly on the wall and don't say shit, but just enjoy it from time to time. And the collective mind is great. Are you going on Patreon now? Well, what I do is I stay on YouTube, but I do a private link and I share it with my Patreons. And what I really want to do is I want to fucking do it so that there's multiple people in the chat. So you got my ugly fucking head, and then you've got some beautiful Queen Latifah's head, and maybe a sodomite Jew's head at the bottom corner, and we can all like shoot the shit, and we can create the pyramid, and who knows what'll come out of the ethers when there's multiple people in the chat. Because, you know, I like inclusion, you know, and I like rebuilding from the ashes of Babylon, like the phoenix coming out of the ashes. And you can't do that as a lone wolf guy, guys and girls. You need to form community. That's the only way. So join me on Patreon, and we'll kick up the stream, and there won't be any fucking little gamma male faptards like Penis Breath over there, who just like literally whacked off to a gay sodomite orgy and then wants to come and talk shit on my stream. Fuck you, nigga. I'll fuck you up. If you want to find my Patreon, go to my most recent video. It's called Starring Breatharian as Adolf Tesla. And then click on the video link description, right? And click them. And what you'll get is you'll get a link to my Patreon, and just fucking go there. That's the best way. I don't know how to put it in the comments. I don't even know how to comment here. I don't even know what my Patreon is. It's just a link, man. Just go and click the link. Click the link and sniff the stink. Anyway, guys, that's all. I'm going to open up the private chat. I hope to see you there. What a pleasure, guys. What an absolute pleasure. 92 minutes and 21 seconds. This is Lovestream 666. Join my Patreon. Shalom, namaste. And as always, aloha.